this piece was written by Anna Pulley, and she interviews a lot of very colorful personalities, people who sell their used panties and people who buy the used panties. And this is a very big fetish. It's right under our noses, but we never realized it.
Oh, God.
So I know. So there are many sites that help sellers and buyers. There's usedpantyportal.com, pantydeal.com, pantybid.com, usedpanty.com, and wornpanty.com. And as one individual states, panty sniffing as a fetish varies from person to person, but generally involves eroticizing a person's stained garments and can include urine stains, vaginal fluid or mucus stains, menstrual blood stains, and even feces stains.
Wonder what they chose to put under "and even."
Yeah.
Should it be feces stains and even menstrual blood? I don't know. It's all quite disgusting to me.
It is.
So throughout this, I'm probably going to defend them at the risk of seeming like a person who he must have that fetish if he's defending them.
Perv.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay,
I don't have the fetish, by the way.
I will say this one thing before you make your point. As long as there are two consenting adults, I don't see a problem with it. It's not for me. I have no interest in it. I don't want to sell or buy, but if you consent,
you should limit the age too. In Japan, thankfully, back in 2004, banned girls less than 18 from selling it. I think that's probably a good addition as well. But I think that quote is being a little unfair to these guys. I'm sure there are some that get off on the disgusting extra stuff, the feces and all that. I think in general, it's just they want it to smell like a woman's private parts. Like that's enough. It doesn't take extra stains of any kind. And I think that
I can't tell you how good that feels and how good that tastes.
There's probably some tasting going on too.
Oh my God! I think you're right. I think one thing to point out is that I think we use the word fetish really lightly, but technically, from a clinical standpoint, like if you're diagnosing somebody, a fetish is a diagnosable psychological disorder according to the DSM, and it really says that the idea of being diagnosed with a fetish is that you can't be sexually aroused unless this is present, and so. For people who actually have this fetish, they need this in order to feel like they have a healthy sex life.
Oh, wow.
We're using the term fetish, I think, in a more kind of colloquial sense, that this is just, it turns them on and they like it. But if they actually had a fetish, they wouldn't be able to have like a functional sex life without this.
So what about furries, for instance? They want to wear the costumes when they're having sex. And so if that's something that's necessary for them to get off, that means that they have a fetish. That's really interesting.
And then they can get treatment. I mean, it's an actual clinical disorder then, so they can get therapy and they can get treatment and things like that.
But let's be fair, because we do have a percentage of our population who are furries or scalies. We're not saying that it's sexual for everybody, just a small percentage of the furries and scalies it's sexual for them.
Well, there are people who cosplay, of course.
Exactly,
like there are people who just enjoy going to comic book conventions and things and wearing costumes.
Like if I can just try to defend this yet again. So like, is there any reason why a guy would have some sort of longing to smell this? I mean, if you look at it in terms of like the evolution of humanity, like the desire for oral sex, the desire to smell and to taste, there's a reason for that because it provides very valuable information about the health of the woman. Like diseases can be detected through taste and through smell. Now this seems to be sort of like an exaggeration of that desire, but there's a reason that guys would want to taste and smell. I think this is just one modern incarnation
Well,
of
and
it.
you have to remember that men who have active sex lives and men who have partners are getting the same kinds of cues that these guys are getting from the used underwear, unfortunately. I have a real issue, just in case if you've seen me cringe, like even more than the poop foam thing, it's because I cannot stand the word panties. Really? It's like one of those words, everybody has those words. That word is so gross to me.
It's like what some women don't like moist.
Yeah, exactly.
Moist grosses me out more than
moist panties together, just
disaster.
I'm done.
So one thing that I found really interesting about this is for a lot of the guys, it's not just about finding used underwear. They want a woman to attach that underwear to. So they want to make it personal. So they might spend $10 for used underwear if they don't know who the woman is or what she looks like. But if they get personal information about the woman, like a video or a picture or something like that, that's when they're willing to pay hundreds of dollars because that's really what gets them off. A woman to attach the panties to, right? So,
but not literally. She's not gonna wear them anymore.
She's not gonna
No,
wear them.
she doesn't want those back.
One person said, I love this. This is an anonymous panty buyer. He says, the most erotic thing about used panties is the connection with the seller having something she purposely wore just for me and masturbated in just for me, so I can have that intimate part of her. The smell is a very strong part of it, but for me, the smell of her vagina is the best. I do not get off on pee or bum or anything else.
Other than the very last portion of that quote, it's kind of hot.
Oh,
Like
God.
as he's writing it, he's very poetic there. He's really
Yeah.
romanticizing it.
Yeah, he is.
You know what
Which
I mean?
is why, like, as I said, as long as there are two consenting adults, it's totally fine. Now, let's go to Lucy's quote, because I found this a little strange. It made me uncomfortable. This is graphic number 11. Lucy says, I made at least $1,000 over the course of a year with things I was just going to discard anyway. And it was kind of hot, honestly. This guy was worshiping me in his own strange way. He wanted me, but he wasn't good enough to have me anymore. All he could have was my trash, and only for a price.
Ooh, Lucy needs some
got
therapy
dark.
of her own.
I did not. I don't know. I did not like that quote. Like, that sounds abusive.
It does.
Lucy.
It sounds really kind of masochistic there.
Yeah. And let's be really fast. It's not just the guys want the girls stuff. There's also a market for guys who want guys stuff. So there's websites. I have a friend actually who sold stuff on this website. I think it was dirtybits.com.
Oh my
I don't know if it still exists.
John knows way too much about this. I love how we rationalize
It's totally a friend. But yeah, they want guys who will wear like Under Armour and like tights, like and socks and stuff like that, and then they sell it. But again, it's about the connection. They want to see the guy and then say, I want his sweaty stuff.
And it's about that chemical, I think that chemical smell, that kind of bonding that they feel. My favorite part of this article on Alternet, I have to say, is at the very end. See more stories tagged with used underwear, sex, panties, and used panties.
All right. So you guys
All right,
know.
Alternate.
There's the anus.
Oh god, he's not into that. He's not into bum.